Right now, I'd like to introduce the first speaker this morning, Harrisburg Mayor, Mr. Eric Papenfuss.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. Thank you for having me back. I'll try and get us started here on a good note for day 2 of the conference. When I was here last year, you may recall it was a different time for the city. Things were very, very much uncertain. We were in a state of fiscal crisis, and we weren't sure what the legislature was going to do. Were they going to act to help the city or not? And I remember sitting in a room, I guess about this time, with Rob Baer and Joe Gussler and others, and we were pleading with members of the legislature to simply allow us to keep the taxing authority that we had. That was it. We weren't asking for anything new. Just keep what we had so that we would be able to set the stage for what we all could see was primed and ready to happen, which was great growth, great development, and a lot of activity in the city. And I'm pleased to say we were successful. We did the almost impossible last summer. We got bipartisan support out of the legislature to allow the city to exit distressed city status, that's Act 47, and to stand on its own. And in just a couple months, we will be doing just that. We will be leaving Act 47, and we have a new oversight board for the city of Harrisburg. And among other things, we just approved a new 5-year fiscal plan for the city. It calls for no increases in taxes, which is good. It calls for continued growth and economic development of the city. And we're beginning to see, and this is going to be measured for the first time empirically with the new census that's coming, but we're beginning to see that we have reversed a long history of population decline in Harrisburg, and we're going to start to see growth in the city for the first time in 70 years. And in each of the next 5 years, we are projecting that we're going to add jobs, we're going to add better paying jobs. We see this in the earned income tax revenues and the local service tax revenues that are coming into the city. So it is an exciting time to be here in Harrisburg. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the things that are going on. And as we spoke about last year, we have Alerta. We have Alerta that we're very proud of in the city of Harrisburg. It incentivizes development and new construction for sure, and it puts certain conditions on that new construction and on those incentives that require things such as prevailing wage, protections for labor. We're very proud of this, but when we were in Act 47, and when the future of the city was not clear and there was a sort of crisis looming, there were a lot of investors that were sort of on the sidelines waiting to see what was going to happen to Harrisburg. And we feel that now that we are exiting Act 47, those investors are coming back. I can tell you they're coming back because I have appointments later today and later this week to discuss project after project after project that are planned for the city of Harrisburg. We have new development proposals for the 6th Street corridor, for the 7th Street corridor, for the downtown, for portions of the south side, for Allison Hill, all over the city of Harrisburg. And I know that we didn't get all that we wanted with the federal courthouse, but the proof is going to be in the ripple effect with the federal courthouse. When you start seeing private developers coming like they already have and saying, we want to build a new housing complex across the street, or we want to build a new mixed-use commercial and housing development just down the block. They're inquiring about the LRTA. They're inquiring about the building trades, about labor, about how to make sure that their project is delivered on time and has the proper connections to the community with the local labor supplied. And we've set the stage for a lot of that. I wanted to tell you about 3 exciting projects that are in the news that maybe you've heard a little bit about. One of which is very much on my mind. It is the 83 widening project. We've got a bill before council tonight to discuss that project, and the city's interested in seeing if we can perhaps reorient the project a bit and save some historic Harrisburg homes and neighborhoods, but not stop the project, because we're very excited about what it means for a potential southern gateway for the city. Last year, you may recall, we talked a little bit about our plans for a northern gateway. They're still very much in design. We have plans for a bridge that will help unite uptown Harrisburg with Hack. We were very proud to sponsor a project labor stabilization agreement to sort of define that, and we've been working with all of you to help secure federal funding. Yep. But the Southern Gateway is equally important, and PennDOT plans to spend almost $1 billion, if you can believe it, just on that southern section. Now, you know what they're doing on other parts of 83, and they have big plans for the Eisenhower interchange, and all of that is very good. But for Harrisburg, they're proposing new on-ramp, exit ramps off Cameron Street, which would be a big change. They're rerouting Paxton Street. They are taking what is currently 6 lanes and turning it into 12 lanes, expanding the bridge, expanding basically the capacity of that. And it has real promise for Harrisburg. It could take congestion off some of our other streets, whether it's State Street or 2nd Street, but it will also allow a lot more people to move throughout the region and hopefully stimulate development and commerce in that way. So that project is very exciting, and what it means for this new on-ramp on Cameron Street or for construction along Paxton Street remains to be seen, and we're watching that very closely. Equal to that project, potentially, in sort of transformative reach, is what is called the Paxton Creek Dechannelization Project, which is also very much underway. This is an exciting project because what this has the potential to do is to take hundreds of acres that are currently in the floodplain in Harrisburg and therefore very hard to develop, and take them out of the floodplain. Where, how many projects have the potential to do just that? Well, this one does. Basically, it's a 100-year-old infrastructure. It was the way the city used to sort of dispose of its waste and sewage into a sort of concrete channel in the middle of the city that washed out into the Susquehanna. Well, we've got to upgrade that, but by removing several bottlenecks and allowing a couple natural spillways in locations, we can do just that. We can take hundreds of acres out of the floodplain. And if you look at the way the city's downtown is beginning to transform and shape up, if you go down Market Street, you'll drive by where there was the old Patriot News building, and it is no more. That site has been demolished and cleared and is primed and ready to go for development. And that is sort of flood ground zero, and with support from the city and all of our partners, we're looking to take that parcel and many other parcels out of the floodplain. So we're currently working with private developers to get easements, to potentially receive the donation of some land, and I think we're going to have some good announcements to come, sort of building momentum over the next year. We're also conducting a further survey. PennDOT sort of spearheaded this, and they did a survey of the Paxton Creek sort of in the downtown, focused on that market corridor. We're taking it all the way out to the Farm Show and to Wildwood, and looking at the potential survey results there from a flooding standpoint. So that's underway. Those 2 projects, and then another project which you might have heard about is the Harrisburg University Office Tower project, which is planned for just around the corner, and will bring a new hotel to the downtown. It will bring many new students to the downtown. We hope it will bring more parkers and everything else into our system. And that's a project that we also have been working very closely with you all at the Building Trades to ensure that there's good communication. That is a privately financed project, but nonetheless, so it doesn't require the LRTA, it doesn't require city support, but nonetheless, we've been making the case that it is you all which can provide the local labor force that they so crave. They can provide not only the quality of craftsmanship, but basically the ability to get it done on time. And if you hear the president of Harrisburg University speak about that project, all he says again and again and again is we've got to keep to the schedule. He's got to open in time for the new school year. That project is currently out to bid. We'll see how the results go, but we've been working very closely. So all told, we already have, and I've added it all up, and I keep a tally sheet every day, about $1 billion in new construction projects in the pipeline over the next 10 years for Harrisburg. And the key, yes, the key for us will be to continue to work together as we already have, as we did to lay the groundwork for the legislation that has gotten us out of Act 47, as we did to lay the groundwork with our city ordinances through the LRTA, as we did to lay the groundwork through our project stabilization agreements, and as we currently do on a regular basis. I'm proud to have a strong and good working relationship with all of you, and I believe that the next decade, and indeed the next years in Harrisburg, are going to be a golden age for the building trades, a golden age for construction in Harrisburg as we move forward. So welcome, and thank you for having me.